Namaste, it's Renee, and welcome to my podcast, Peace, Love, Abundance. Today we're going to talk about connecting the dots. Connecting the dots even from our past. Connecting those dots as to how did we become this creature of habit? How did we get into a destructive pattern that we keep repeating? Or whatever it is that you have going on in your life and why you're putting things off, right? Also, why do we put things off? We know we want to get shit done, so why do we put it off? But we need to connect those dots of the past up into this point, and you need to verify where you started to repeat this destructive cycle and you started to not get shit done and you started to believe your own excuses before you can connect the dots of the future and plan for the future and set good, strong goals for the future. Anyway, today is going to be about that. I recorded it outdoors as part of a program that I have coming up, a masterclass on connecting the dots. In a moment here, whenever the podcast actually starts, you're going to hear me introduce myself from the great outdoors. And it's because I recorded it as part of another project. But it's still very relevant to my podcast and everything I want to share. And I really want my podcasters who listen to me to also hear this message and have the opportunity to set some really good goals into the future. Let's do this. First step of learning how to stop putting shit off is to get shit done. So let's get this podcast done and over with so you can start connecting the dots. From the great outdoors, from one of my favorite parks. The reason why this is one of my favorite parks is because it's got these humongous soccer fields and football fields. You can even see it there in the background. There's a soccer goal. There's another soccer goal. And how about out here and over there somewhere? Anyways, goals, right? Goals in sports, goals in life. Goals, goals, goals. Anyway, I love coming out here and even remembering my son and whenever he played these sports and even conversations I had with other mothers and dads and children and all the relationships that I created. As a matter of fact, my son playing soccer is how I met my boyfriend, Bill, of 16 years. He was a friend of some parents I got to know. They introduced me to him and skipped 16 years later, we're still together. Anyways, so soccer fields, football fields, they just, I don't know, and just space, knowing that there's space to breathe. A lot of goals are made on these fields and relationships are created and getting outdoors. I love it all. And, it takes me a little bit of trip down memory lane, which even though I believe we should live in the present, it doesn't hurt to take a trip down memory lane because memory lane is what helps you remember who you are. And our memories are amazing. We're meant to keep our memories. That's why we have a memory, right? Let go of the attachments. Definitely, I don't need to attach to those years of raising my son out here. He's 23 years old, and that brings on whole new excitement for me and being proud of him for everything he's accomplishing. But I love having memories of him being tiny and even his first soccer season, just chasing the ball around. It was such good memories. But our memories of our past are also dots that we need to connect. Connecting with the dots of our past to help us create dots of the future. We need to connect these dots as to who we are and where we come from. Our dots of the past are very important for our future. While we shouldn't dwell and attach to the past, they can become a very important element of our future. Have you ever been at maybe the soccer fields and had a conversation about your goals and your dreams or something that you feel you would be good at, and you're having this conversation and the other person says to you, why? Well, why aren't you doing this already? This does sound amazing. This does sound exactly like you. Why aren't you doing that now? And you stop, you freeze like a deer in the headlights. And you don't know how to answer that question because you really don't know why. So knowing your why is really important. What does come up for you when somebody asks you that question often is excuses. Excuses sometimes come up really easily, and we have excuses for why we haven't accomplished something. Oh, well, the kids keep me too busy. My full-time job keeps me too busy. And I have this to do and that to do. And, it just becomes excuses. There are also explanations as maybe why you haven't gotten around to it yet, but those explanations become full-on excuses. And then eventually someday you even start to believe those excuses, and those excuses become the norm, to where the next time somebody asks you, why aren't you being yourself? Why aren't you being who you're meant to be? Your answer comes even quicker because you already have those excuses mapped out in your head, those limiting beliefs that stop you from doing what you're doing. But the truth of the matter is say even your goal is just to lose weight. You want to lose 10 pounds. Well, you let those excuses override starting today, making it happen today as to why you can't start eating healthier today or exercise. And the next thing you know, 2 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years has gone by. And now instead of having to lose 10 pounds, you have to lose 20 pounds. Right? And it just keeps adding on and compounding because you keep putting it off, because you believe your own excuses as to why you can't make it happen. The excuses become the norm. They become limiting beliefs, and it's all in your head. But you can do it. You can make the time. If you have the will, you have the way. I really believe you do. But connecting the dots of the past is going to help with that. What in your past got you to that point where you started to believe in those excuses? I, at one time, wanted to be an acupuncturist, but the 7 or 8 years it was going to take to become an acupuncturist was very overwhelming. And while I was raising my son, I decided I didn't have time for that. But you know what? Skip now, 10, 13 years later, I would be an acupuncturist right now if I would have started then. So hindsight always kicks you in the ass whenever you look back at it and you wish, wow, I wish I would have started then. So yeah, sometimes a big goal like that can sound overwhelming and you don't have time for it. But then when 10 years has gone by and you realize that that's what you would be right here, right now, and you wish that's what you would have done. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not all for nothing. I'm very happy with being a yoga instructor and a master herbalist. And those do feed my soul, and they get me pretty close to some of what an acupuncturist does. I, by all means, don't want to belittle what an acupuncturist does because they have a lot of knowledge. But I'm happy to know that I can help people with what knowledge that I do have, and it provides me the freedom in my own health to be able to do what I do today. But moving ahead, connecting the dots so that maybe you do accomplish what it is that you want to do. 9 times out of 10, if you don't write it down and make a plan, it's not going to happen, right? If you don't plan out those dots and start connecting them, it's not going to happen. Each connection between the dot is its own little journey to get to that dot. Sometimes dots throw us off course, right? Some other dot appeared that you have no control of, but it popped up. Well, you know what? Go ahead, follow that dot, connect it, then close the door and move back onto the dots that you want to connect. I'm not saying that if you sit down and write it down that everything's going to happen perfectly. Also, you do need to have the flexibility of knowing that maybe some of those other dots find their way into your life for a reason, so that you can appreciate the good within the bad. We have to. It's human nature. We experience the highs with the lows and the good with the bad. But if you know that somewhere you have a plan written out with those dots that you want to connect, once you take care of whatever that the universe is delivering you at that moment, you get back to connecting your dots. That's one reason why you write it down. Because if you don't write it down, then that 10 years is going to fly by and you're going to realize you didn't accomplish it. And flexibility, knowing that, that plan could change. You might set out like me. You might set out to, I want to be an acupuncturist. But then other dots started to present themselves along the way that I followed to become what and who I am today. So the flexibility to know that while I didn't become an acupuncturist, I still sought out a different way of life, a holistic way of life. I still followed and connected what dots I could to have the knowledge and experience and the professionalism that I have today. So flexibility is part of it. It may not always turn out as you expect, but also, I didn't continue my path of doing drugs. I'm not living in the gutter right now. I'm not a meth head, right? So I still connected some pretty damn good dots to be where I am today, and I'm proud of that. I am putting together a masterclass right now on connecting those dots. In my masterclass, we will visit the past and figure out how we became where we are today. What has created those excuses in your mind and those limiting beliefs? And from there, we're going to connect new dots into the future. And those dots, there'll be several dots because you got to have the milestones along the way, and you got to have each little journey that connects those dots. So we will sit down and we will revisit the past. We will write down what our goals and ambitions are, start to formulate some steps, or AKA dots, to connect to help move us forward. We will do this in my masterclass. My masterclass, it starts October 1st, and it will be recorded. So if you can't do it exactly on October 1st, you can do it when you can do it. However, here's the catch. I'm only going to release it for so many days because I need you to have some kind of urgency to get it done. So it's only going to be released for so many days. I'm also charging $25 for it because it is also known that if we spend money on something, we're more apt to do it and accomplish it. It is $25, October 1st. If you sign up today, I will give you some bonus material, some of my already pre-recorded offerings, like the 7 chakras. My 7 chakra workshop, I believe, helps you explore the chakras, some light meditation to help get you prepared for connecting your dots. Because when all 7 chakras are aligned, you're going to be aligned. And even if you know nothing about the chakras, that's what's cool about this workshop. You'll learn what they are, and it will totally prepare you for the master class of connecting the dots. The master class will only be at most an hour and a half or 2 hours. It does come with a workbook, though. So if you're pausing the video to be able to answer the questions in the workbook as you go, or formulating your plan and your dots, then it could take you a little bit longer than the hour and a half or 2 hours. But I'm really trying my hardest to keep it at an hour and a half to less than 2 hours so that you can easily get through this in an afternoon or a rainy day, and then you'll have it all written out on paper. Yes, with the guidance of taking this master class. It is going to, again, help you figure out your obstacles, which 9 times out of 10, your obstacles are all up here in your head. So we're going to master the mindset. We're going to think about what our dreams and goals and ambitions are. And then we're going to lay out some clear defining steps to get there, as well as some mantras and affirmations that you can repeat on a daily basis, or even hang up on your refrigerator to help remind you of the positive aspects of accomplishing your goals and ambitions and being proud of who you are. So while we will visit the past and dig up how we got to this point, we're also going to explore what we're naturally good at. Because when you cultivate the things that you're naturally good at, then it's much easier to want to do more, right? So let's do this. October 1st, it releases, but you can sign up before then and get my bonus material of the 7 chakras and start digging in today with the 7 chakras. Let's do this. So I will have a link on my website. Go to my website so you know how to sign up. And I am looking forward to having you on this journey. It will also include, support from me, email, phone, whatever you want. I'm throwing it out there. I want to be there for you. But all you need to do is sign up to make your commitment. Commit to yourself and commit to your future. Even commit to your children. Show to your children that you can accomplish the goals that you set yourself out for. Because remember, your children are watching you. They're mimicking you. So be a good example for your children, and let's do this. Wow, that is some powerful stuff. As I listen to this and edit this podcast and re-listen to my outdoor recording, I get even more excited about this masterclass I've put together to help people and walk people through this. And I really do think that we can set some goals for ourselves and get some shit done. Let's stop putting shit off and get shit done. All right, let's do this. Your first thing to do is to sign up. And if it's before October 1st right now, sign up and get the 7 Chakras workshop. It's a bonus, so it's free for early sign up before October 1st. I do want everybody to know, too, that even if you sign up after October 1st, registration will end October 15th. So I will leave the registration open for a couple weeks between October 1st and October 15th. So that gives everybody an opportunity to hopefully hear this podcast or any of my other videos that I have out there and have time to sign up, and even share this with a friend. If you think you have a friend that needs this program as well, I will leave registration open until the 15th of October for anybody else to join. I have to put a deadline on this. The reason why is because this is all about getting shit done. So I have to put some urgency in here so you don't have time to make up a million excuses to put it off. Already you might be thinking of an excuse as to why you don't have time to do it, but that is totally defeating the purpose, right? You can make time for this. If you can make time to binge watch Netflix TV, or time to go shopping for that new pair of shoes that you probably don't need because you have plenty of shoes to wear. Whatever it is that you spend your extra time doing, you can put that off. Go ahead, put that off. But let's get this done, because this one is going to help you accomplish goals of your future self, of you becoming maybe your higher self and accomplishing something that you've been meaning to accomplish for a long, long time. I'm telling you, it's time to stop putting it off, and you're going to do it now. No excuses. Sign up. I will have the links to my website in the show notes so you can find this and get signed up. Again, if it's before October 1st, you get the bonus of the 7 Chakras workshop. And I am so excited for this program. I hope you join me. And for today, I will let you go. Peace, love, abundance. Namaste.